Setting your worth. We all start out as perfect creations of the one source, whatever you choose to call that source. After conception, even before we are born, we begin to be influenced by the outside world. If our mothers have had a good, healthy pregnancy in a happy environment, that will have a positive influence on our sense of self. Likewise, any struggles our mothers may encounter during pregnancy can have a negative effect on our sense of self. If she is in a stressful circumstance, experiencing lack, under emotional or financial strain, those type of things are going to have an effect on our perception of ourselves and our world by the time we are born. After birth, we are exposed to innumerable forms of external influences. Our amazing, active little brains constantly making connections between our experiences and our sense of identity. For example, if our parents responded quickly with love and patience when we cried, it likely strengthened our identity in a belief that we were lovable and valuable. If our parents tried the cry it out method, we may have had our identity influenced by worry that we are insignificant or easy to abandon. This observation is not a reflection on whether our parents were good or not. It is just the way of life. Most parents are doing the very best they can for their children at any given time with the knowledge and experience they have. Many of the negative beliefs that implant themselves into our minds were introduced to us by very loving and well-meaning guardians. As we grow, we continue to be influenced by our experiences in life. We internalize messages from our families, teachers, peers, religion, society, and various forms of media. Our beliefs can be deeply affected by seemingly small events. Something may be said to us that seems completely insignificant to the person who said it, but may plant a deep seed of belief about ourselves within us. Many of us have encountered traumatic experiences in our lives. These traumatic experiences have an even greater influence on our sense of identity. For example, domestic abuse can cause a person to develop very strong beliefs that they are unlovable, unworthy, weak, and powerless. Such circumstances can cause deeply implanted false beliefs about who we are and what we are worth. All of the experiences we have had over the course of our lifetime contribute to the way we identify ourselves. We take all these things in and we internalize them. They become a part of who we believe we are and what we believe we are worthy of in life. We feel as if the things that we have experienced in our external world have truly changed who we are at our core. Even people who have had great childhoods and have never experienced severe trauma can have seeds of fear and doubt planted in their mind that grow into limiting beliefs and lowered self-worth powerful enough to trap them in unhappy situations. When childhoods are painful or trauma has been experienced, those seeds can root themselves very deeply and spread like weeds. We all have a constant stream of thoughts running through our minds. The cumulative effect of those thoughts adds up to how we show up and experience our lives. Many of the thoughts we have are related to our sense of self-worth. What does your inner dialogue that you have with yourself sound like? Are you your biggest fan, cheering yourself on and encouraging yourself with love and kindness? Or are you constantly judging yourself, putting yourself down, and doubting your worthiness. What experience are you creating for yourself? When we pay close attention to our thoughts, it is extremely common to find that we're not very nice to ourselves. Those habitual thoughts are the reflections of all the external messages we have received and then internalized. We live in a society that often focuses on weaknesses rather than strength, on lack rather than abundance, and we take those messages in and adopt them as part of ourselves. We also have a tendency to compare ourselves to others and consistently feel that we are lacking in some way. We may think that we are not smart enough, not pretty enough, not talented enough, not worthy enough, or just not good enough. We may think we are too strange, too sensitive, too lazy, or just too much. The ways in which we judge ourselves seem to be endless. So often we seem to believe that we are not enough or that we are too much of something. The first thing that I had to do to get my feet back under myself was to accept that I was worthy of a better life. I know from experience how hard that can be to accept when life has been hard for a long time and nothing has seemed to help. It can be easier to believe that we are destined to live a hard life or that we have done something for which we are being punished. I finally accepted that I was worthy, though, and so are you. It is imperative that you accept your worth so you can attract the good you truly deserve. As hard as it may be to believe, you are perfect. Nature is a perfect unfolding of life, and you are a perfect part of it. You have all the same perfect qualities as the one source from which all life was created. Just like a drop of the ocean has all the properties of the ocean, each person has all the qualities of the source energy from which we came. And just as source energy is made up of the qualities of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-love, so are we. We were born with these innate qualities of goodness, and everything else we think of ourselves was only layered on top of who we really are. At our core, we are still perfect expressions of source energy, with all of the perfect qualities of source. Our innermost selves are perfect expressions of life. It is that perfect inner self on which we need to learn to base our worth. It is our direct connection with all that is. It is the part of us that takes every challenge and every mistake and transmutes it into good in the form of our personal growth. It is that part of us that always knows the right thing to do if we will let ourselves trust and listen to it. It is always perfect and always worthy. It is who we really are, our truest selves. I wish that realizing your true worth were as easy as reading a book. It would be nice if I could tell you that you are perfect and worthy of a wonderful life, and you could just take me at my word. Unfortunately, it usually takes some time and effort before we can begin to accept our perfection after we have developed a low sense of self-worth. It is often a long-term process of weeding out those false ideas that have planted themselves in our minds as we've experienced life. We must realize that we get to set our worth. Most of us base our worth on all those external messages we've received, rather than on who we truly are at our core. Not only do we get to set our own worth, but we are also the only ones who really can. We will attract the people and experiences into our lives to match the worth we set for ourselves. It is important to set it high if we want to have enjoyable relationships and experiences.